Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. So we are going to continue our space survival adventure, and I'm quite surprised that I have not destroyed my ship and left myself stranded as we've hit the 20th episode of this adventure. Alright, first I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in every week to join me on this space adventure. It's been fun, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more coming with this adventure. And of course, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and of course hit that notification bell, and also leave us some comments. Alright, so let's get started with today's adventure. So before we begin, I did make some edits to the ship, and that is basically adding small cargo containers in the front of the ship, tucked away in that little small crevice we had all the small hydrogen tanks. So I did add 2 here and 2 here, meaning 2 cargo containers, so a total of 4, just to make some room for taking down that Mayday ship, because my large container has been completely filled with material. And if I need to make another large container, I need to find space for that. But I didn't want to expand the ship just yet, so we'll leave it as that for now. And of course, we have more space to add small containers, so why not do that, right? As I mentioned, I took down the Mayday ship that we found in the previous episode. I built out this big grinder on the spaceship here and pretty much ate the whole damn thing, basically. So I did put it on the time lapse, so let's check that out really quick. Alright, so welcome back. So today might be a bit of a different episode or video because I do want to try a few things with this ship. It's still called the respawn pod, to be honest, but I wanted to try something with it, and that is adding not a shield, but a form of like a repaired shield kind of thing. So what do I mean by that is basically applying some welders on the inside and maybe outside to automatically weld damaged materials. So say, like if this is completely damaged or the turrets are gonna get damaged, there's gonna be a welder there to kind of repair it as it gets shot and everything like that. Is it gonna work out? I don't know. I do want to test it and see what happens. And when I say like a shield, I'm gonna try to add a projector in the inside of the ship and project it so that if things are missing, I can always weld them back on easily with, you know, a large welder or maybe even a hand welder, to be honest. So let's give that a shot. Let's start with the projection first. Alright, so throughout this adventure, we haven't even touched the projector at all. So the projector is this. It projects the block and of your saved blueprint, so you can easily weld things up or create a secondary ship or the same ship. You kind of clone it and things like that. So we're going to use this not to make a new ship, but put it as a blueprint to surround this current ship so that if things are broken or missing, we can easily weld it up without having to kind of go crazy and redesign everything all over again. Alright, so the projector doesn't need to be placed in a spot next to like a connector or anything like that, so we can pretty much place it anywhere. And I think I'm going to just place it right on top of my cryo chamber. Alright, so we now have a projector on our ship. So now we can pretty much project it on our ship. So let's take care of that really quickly. Probably want to just get into my control seat, see it from the outside view, hit the control panel, and find the projector. So projector, go to blueprints and locate your blueprint basically. Alright, so the respawn pod that I have for the space adventure is here. I'll just double click that. And now we have our projection. So of course the projection is a little wonky right now, as you see here. So we're gonna have to kind of manipulate the controls a little bit just to ensure that it is in the right place. So we'll go back to our projector. And here is where we're gonna play around with the settings so that it is positioned in the right way. So we first want to probably stable it to be more horizontal than vertical. So we want to play with the, not the pitch. It looks like the yaw. So we can yaw this way. Then we gotta pitch it around. Alright, so gotta maneuver it a little bit. Alright, so let's move it out of the way for now. We want to push it this way. I do want to turn it. So how do I turn it to be the other way? It's not the pitch. Is it the yaw? Yep, here's the yaw. We will pitch it this way, and I think I got it. So now it is now. Yep, now it's facing the right way. Hopefully you can see that, but it's hard to control and kind of look at it from there. So we will bring this down and bring it closer to the ship. So it looks like I need to put it down some more, then back it up a little bit. I might be off just a tad. So we gotta keep playing around with it. So it's likely that I positioned it, the projector itself, in an odd space. That's why it's coming up that way. Alright, so now it's all meshed in. Perfect. Alright, so if we look outside, the projection itself is on the ship and inside the ship. So if I were to, let's just say for an example, get rid of this thing here, it should pop up. Nope, it didn't pop up. Okay. Alright, so I had to adjust it a little bit, and what I did was basically on the projector itself, I had hit keep projection and show only buildable. So now, as you see here, if this piece is gone, that piece is gone, we can easily build it and it shows up. So now, that's like the quick way to repair things. So same thing with this conveyor. Let's say we get rid of it, it's going to project, and we can easily add it back on with the projector. So having the projector on acts not like a shield per se, but a easy way to rebuild your ship if it gets destroyed or damaged. So we can probably test this out and maybe shoot at our ship a little bit. So if I were to damage this piece, that's gone. Wasted some materials, but it's okay. So now it's projecting that it's buildable, so we can easily weld it back on. Apparently I need steel plates though. Alright, so yeah, I can easily weld this back on. So yeah, this kind of secures my ship so it won't get too damaged if I am flying it around and get shot at by space pirates, reavers, or whatever drones that comes our way. So the next part I want to do is actually add the welders. So welders can help if we leave it always on or potentially on at certain points. It'll just consistently weld, so then it can repair things quickly instead of having to like go out and repair. So what if I were to put a welder like out here to ensure that it welds our turrets? And of course connect them at the same time. Would that really work? I'm not too sure, and let's just test it out. Alright, so now we just gotta find a good spot for these welders so that we can place them somewhere to connect into a conveyor and also weld up certain things when necessary. So what if I were to put one here? Alright, so just to test it out, if I put a welder here and my thruster gets damaged, it does repair it, so that's a good sign. But it's not doing much to the turrets which I intended it for, so I need to find some kind of alternative. So let's get rid of this one. And what if I were to add it, let's just say, maybe here. Alright, so if we add it there, and if we have our turret shot down a little bit, will it repair it? It will. Nice. same thing to this one. Okay, so that's actually a good spot for it then. So if you were to shoot down this turret, it should repair it, but I guess not. What's going on? Okay, so as I'm looking at it, it's not going to work out for the big Gatling turrets, but it's going to work for an area that is like a 3x2 area. So if like the turret's damage, the interior turret's damage, it'll repair it. However, if it's a large Gatling turret, it might not be able to do it. Oh, it is doing it. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so it looks like it's repairing to the point where it's functional. Maybe it's because I'm running out of material. So let's try that again. So if I were to get rid of that, yeah, it just gets it back to functional. So that's a little disappointing. So it doesn't go all the way for some reason. Maybe it's too far. I don't know. Kind of weird. But that's a decent spot for it. So then it can take care of my interior turret and also a Gatling turret there. And also even an iron thruster. So that's decent. Not the greatest, but it works. So let's add a few more elsewhere and, you know, kind of put it throughout the ship. Alright, so as a test, putting it directly in front of the turret, Gatling turret, it does weld it up all the way. So, not sure why these aren't being welded up all the way, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, so I honestly don't know why these aren't welding up, but the one up here, if I were to like reduce it all the way, it welds it back up the entire Gatling turret. So, and it's in the same vicinity, so, I mean, spacing. I don't understand why it's not working properly, but as long as it works on top, we should be okay for the most part. So we'll continue to put it around the ship itself. Alright, so we finally done here, and we added some welders all around the ship, inside and outside. It may be somewhat of a death trap for myself, because welders do hurt when I get too close to them. So throughout the ship itself, you'll see I added a new Gatling turret and also a welder to weld this little guy here. But for some reason, I'm experiencing a weird issue where when I take this down just a little bit and turn on the welder, it only welds it up to the functional area. It doesn't weld it up all the way, right? Which is a weird thing, because if I were to go up here into this one, which is similar spacing, and if I were to, you know, kind of like take apart this one a little bit and turn on the welders, it goes all the way, which is kind of weird. But I think the issue is that the way the turret's facing. So with the turret facing this way, with the control panel here, I think it's allowing it to kind of like weld up the whole entire thing. So let's just see what's going on, actually. Let's just flip this guy around and see if that is the case. Alright, so yeah, there we go. It is the orientation of the turret. So being this far away with the control panel facing the welder itself, it actually welds up all the way. But if it's not facing it, then it won't weld it all the way. But here's another kicker. So if I bring it down that much, it doesn't weld it up at all. So that kind of makes it kind of useless. But it's alright. We'll leave it as that for now. Alright, so if I am gonna leave it as it was before, with the control panel facing away from it, I'm able to weld it or grind it down all the way and have it rebuilt. But it doesn't build it all the way like it was facing the other way. So there's like a weird thing here going on. It's probably the distance of it, so that's what's causing the issue. But I mean, it's still gonna help us a little bit in terms of like, if this does break, it will weld it up back again. So that's also very helpful. Alright, so let's go take a look at the rest of the ship. So outside, you have one welder there. We already talked about this welder being here, which will help take care of this one. Not fully, but if it's broken, it'll create a new one with the projector. And same goes for the other side. So the other thing that I added was up here, as we saw before, which will help weld this guy up. The middle one, we don't have any space for it, unfortunately. But it will at least take care of this interior turret here, which I just added so that it can kind of touch it just a little bit. And I do need to add another one here. Alright, so that's added. So now that welder can take care of this interior turret. So I have 4 on the top that can be welded back on if necessary. We have a Gatling and an interior turret over here that can weld it back on if necessary. So that will give us somewhat of a precautionary thing when we get attacked from Reavers and Space Pirates. So let's go take a look inside. Alright, so inside, again, like I said before, it might actually just be like a death trap. So I do have a few in here itself. I was hoping to make one for the window and the front door, and also maybe one for the seat itself, but that will definitely zap me here and there and kill me easily, so I thought otherwise, to be honest. But they are all over the place, so you'll see one here to kind of help out with a battery maybe, and also the interior. There's one back here that is on the refinery, which I believe this is probably the biggest death trap of them all. And if we go downstairs, we're gonna see a ton more. So you have one or two actually pointing at the hydrogen tank, which is very important. We have one on the projector, the air vent, survival kit, a few back here for more tanks, and conveyors, and the cargoes back here. It's not gonna weld to the cargoes, but that's gonna do that. And it looks like I'm missing one additional one, so let's put that on. And that is going to be here for the gyroscope itself. And also the oxygen tank, and maybe the small hydrogen tank too. So all this is just to prevent us from losing our ship. And again, this with the projector itself, the welders will definitely repair and help us with that. But again, it is kind of a death trap. Might be worth doing, might be not worth doing. We'll see at the end of it. But it's a cool idea, I guess you can say. I haven't tried this before, really. I mean, I've done it with other things in terms of the projection. But I might as well add that onto here just for fun to see how it works. And hopefully it does work out pretty well. So that's kind of like a makeshift shield or automatic repair system that you can build without any mods or anything like that. I mean, it's not super practical, but it can probably save you for the most runs. Maybe I'll give it a test and run into a drone or a reaver and see, how things go. But for now, nothing is here. So I know we said we were gonna go to Mars and Europa at one point, and that is something we definitely will be doing. But first, I kind of want to head back to the space station that I created just to re-up on my gear and materials and see what I can do from there before heading off. Alright, so we got the direction of the space station that I built between the Earth and the Moon, so we're going to head there as quickly as possible. I do see something headed my way that's 9 kilometers away, a Reaver fighter. Maybe I can potentially fight it? I don't know. But I think if I fly to my space station, we should be okay. So yeah, let's just try and do a jump to it. So let's go to our control panels, go to a jump drive. And we're going to choose the destination that I have, which is the space base. And that will be its destination, basically. So with that on, let's hit the jump. And jump destination, space base, blah, blah, blah. And let's do it. Now, we'll see some nice warping. Alright, so let's see where we ended up at. Alright, so it ported me about a kilometer away from the space station. So I was a little worried and then I couldn't see it before where my space station went. But yeah, 1 kilometer away from the jump. Not too bad. But we're here. So maybe the Reaver is not actually looking for us, as I don't see it like coming closer anymore. So jumping away kind of did avoid the fight, so that ain't too bad. And I definitely can't move too much, so I need to turn on my hydrogen thrusters. Hopefully I don't crash right into the space station. I think I'll probably park close to the door since I have that attachment on the connector. So I'm going to park this by the front of the hangar door. And I'm going to head inside, relax a little bit, watch the videos or posters that are rotating on the TV. And we're going to move on next episode to go to Mars, because I have a plan, and that involves getting a lot more superconductors, which is gold. I do want another jump drive if I can fit it in here. If not, I'm gonna have to expand the ship. So I do believe I have a mod idea, and I probably already have it installed in this space adventure, which is going to be a shield. So I have this shield controllers, shield LCDs, and things like that because it is coming from a mod. What's the name of the mod? I'm not quite sure yet at this point. I probably put it in and totally forgot about it, so I'll check it out and see what it is, and I'll link it in the description. But that is the plan. I'm gonna try to build this shield for the ship instead of having that projector welding nonsense that I put on today. So that's the next thing I'm gonna do, and that's gonna bring us to Mars to get some gold. And I think, if I'm correct, that should be it, right? Yeah. Field emitters. Can I make that? Field emitters. You can. Oh, and that requires platinum. So, So I gotta look into how to get platinum, which I think we can find some on Mars. Gold, we can find some on. Well, actually, we could probably find some on the moon, but we could also find it in Europa because I know where they are, where it is. So we're gonna have to take care of it that way. But yeah, eventually I'm just gonna connect this to the space station itself, so then I can recharge up on some materials if I left any materials there, and enjoy the space station one last time, basically. Alright, so that will do it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching. We're almost at 1K subscribers, so if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It doesn't hurt to do so. And we'll keep providing you with entertainment with Space Engineers and other games that we enjoy playing. And as always, thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.